Call this June 13th council meeting to order. Would everybody please stand for a moment of silence? And let's remember one of our crossing guards who was with us for many years, Steve Ciotti, who passed away over the weekend, and has been with us, like I said, for a long time, crossing our school kids. Please salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Lutz?
Here.
Mrs. Cullen? Here. Mr. Nell?
Here.
Mrs. Rodriguez?
Here.
Mr. Musni? Mr. Sabatini?
Here.
Mr. Plensky?
Here.
Mr. Di Giuseppe?
At this time, I'm going to open up public participation.
How you doing? I'm Greg Pezza from the East Ward, and I first want to thank Mr. Dillon. I sent him a number of emails this week with certain questions, and he got back very quickly, and I think that's efficient, and I really do appreciate that. But unfortunately, I also have a minor complaint, and it's not geared toward the borough necessarily. But this past week, I noticed, as did a number of residents of the East Ward noticed, that Pico was simply walking around spray painting people's lawns. And this posed a few questions. So I emailed Mr. Dillon about those questions, and what the response was, not necessarily from Mr. Dillon, but from Pico themselves, was that they are moving inside meters outside, and that they are running some new gas lines as well. Which I guess I understand is something that if it has to be done, it has to be done. But I also know then, since seeing those lines spray painted, which I know made a number of property owners nervous just to see someone walk up to their grass and spray paint it, I'm curious as to what the effect on the roads is going to be, particularly the moratorium that we've had on the roads, and if you know the answer to that question.
Well, I said, I don't know if you were here, that we met with Pico,
Yeah.
and they assured us that there is a moratorium on our roads. But they have emergency work that has to be done, and you have to give them the opportunity. You're dealing with gas. They have a low pressure issue in certain sections of Harriman. They guaranteed us that all the roads will be put back and restored at their cost, not the borough's cost. Any lawns or driveways or anything that they disturb, they will put back to the original, the way it looked. And they also will do the same thing that Aqua did. They will go out and video every single property before they work on it, so that a homeowner can't come back and say, well, you cracked my driveway, you took a bush out that wasn't here, and you didn't replace my bush. So basically, there will be a full restoration project done by Pico or Aqua, whoever is in there.
Okay, and that's understandable that they would have emergency services that they have to conduct. But another concern was just that they weren't notifying people. And I know that again, that's something that Mr. Dillon, as I raised the concern, Mr. Dillon sent on to Pico, and they had said that they put out door knockers and that they had people going door to door. And I can just say, maybe that's true, but from the people that I spoke with, that didn't happen. So although they claimed that it happened, from the people I spoke with, it didn't. So I would just ask that we insist, in working with Pico, that they really do follow through in contacting property owners, because, I know a number of people didn't even understand, they might not watch borough council meetings every time that they're on, and they might, they might just get their information from the paper or whatever, but I know that a number of people were really concerned that people were simply just walking up to their properties and spray painting, and then also concerned about what the street effect would be. So I think it's understandable that they have to do what they have to do, but I would ask that we insist that Pico be a little better in explaining to the borough citizens the work that they're going to be doing. And if they claim to put those door knockers out, that they actually follow through and do that. So if we could just push them on that, I'd appreciate it.
How'd you make out with that, Jim?
The borough also asked PECO to notify those residents who do not have gas service
Right.
that now would be the time, if they're interested, since their forces are out there and they're going to restore the roads where they do, cut into them. So I think we got their attention, and they did hit a sewer lateral late Friday, so that was supposed to have been repaired today in that neighborhood, so.
Okay.
Greg, but any concerns you get, I mean, you could email Jim and,
Right, and I do, and he's
If you-
very responsive.
I know you're getting a lot of calls, so.
Yeah. And then the last thing I would just say to notify everyone that I'm sure PECO does not notify people of is that the one question that I had and a few other people had is if you do have that inside meter and they're putting on the out, do you have any say in where that meter goes? And their answer was no. So, I mean, if that's their standard, that's their standard. I did, also indicate that I hope their standards are the same for Bristol Borough as they are, for Newtown Borough or any other place. And they said that it is. They put them in the same spot in every borough, but that the property owner really has no say over where they go.
Right.
That's unfortunate, but I guess that's their standard, so. All right, well, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Sabatini.
Yeah, question on Mr. Pez's comment about, that means our streets are going to be ripped up?
Wherever they're ripping up a street, they're not patching it, they're replacing
The whole
the
street?
street.
Okay.
We're not going to deal, if they make it, there's two ways to do it. One, they can do is it ultraviolet or
Infrared.
infrared, I'm sorry,
Right.
infrared patch,
Right.
which melts it back in and you won't even know it, if it's something small. If they're running along a road and they have to open it up, they're going to pave curb to curb, not half of the street.
Perfect.
Anybody else on this side of the room would like to speak, please go to the podium and state your name.
Hi, I'm Bill Rittler from North Ward. I addressed the council a bit last week. I'm here representing Bucks County AFL-CIO, several of my fellow members there in the back row there.
Did you bring a check?
Not yet. We meet second Tuesday of the month at CARPS, and we discuss issues that are important to us in labor and such. And when we heard about the senior center, we generated a letter that they want to present to the council, and I've been asked to read this and give you a letter with that. If I may read this to you. This goes, a mayor of Bristol and Bristol Council. And this letter is in support of the Lower Bucks Activity Senior Center located at 301 Wood Street in Bristol Borough. We understand the center is in danger of closing due to financial problems and low membership. We're requesting that the council help the senior center out financially. The center and our Central Labor Council would work together to increase the membership and would be willing to donate our labor for repairs to the center when needed. With increased membership and assistance from Borough Council, the center would be able to serve the seniors their lunches through the Meals on Wheels program and activities. They're looking for new activities that would attract more people to join the center. Bristol Borough has a wealth of history, and the Lower Bucks Activity Center is part of that history. Bristol is where the Bucks County Association for Retired and Senior Citizens was first started. It was the first center that seniors could walk in and have a hot lunch in Bucks County. There are 5 centers that belong to the association now. The association is made up of members of organized labor, business, and the community. And 2 of the labor members are here tonight, and they're in the back there, John Greer and Ed Needham. Bucks County Central Labor Council was established in Bucks County over 50 years ago, and their monthly meetings in Bristol. A few locals had their headquarters in Bristol long before the council was created. The council's Community Services Committee has been very active in the borough for the past 20 years. In 1993, a complete renovation of the kitchen and other parts of the building were completed by the Community Services Committee, such as a new exhaust system, new tile floor, new ceilings, plumbing, heating, a complete new electrical system transformer, and new panel box, as well as new wiring in the kitchen area, dumbwaiter, wallpaper, new walls, paint, and much more. Over 200 members of the council's Community Services Committee volunteered their labor for this project, and it took 6 months to complete. It's estimated that the committee saved the center over $300,000 in this project, and we are talking about the senior center just across the street here. Another community services project was the Lagoon and Canal project. A complete restoration of the Lagoon and Canal was one of the largest projects ever completed in the state of Pennsylvania. The project took 9 months to complete. It took the combined efforts of the Community Services Committee, the business community, and elected officials to make the project a success. The operating engineers, carpenters, cement masons, electricians, and other tradesmen did the majority of the work. Over 300 tradesmen volunteered their time to complete this project. Senator Arlen Specter visited the site and marveled that so many volunteers donated their time to complete the lagoon and canal project. The Pennsylvania AFL-CIO awarded the Bucks County Central Labor Council the prestigious Boyer-Euling Community Services Award. It was estimated that the canal and lagoon project would have cost Bristol Borough approximately $5 million. Another project the Community Services Committee volunteered in the borough was the house that was built in one day on Buckley Street for Habitat for Humanity. Also, a ramp at the Lions Park at the foot of Mill Street for the tall ship that was on tour from Ireland to serve the passengers while it was docked at the pier. The Community Services Committee donates and distributes food at Christmas. They have been doing this for the last 14 years. The Central Labor Council is asking the borough if they would help the activity center in order to prevent its closing. In the past, the center has raised money to make improvements to the building through grants, activities, rentals for weddings, and other affairs. It's estimated they have put over $1 million into the building. What's going to happen if the borough takes it back, sell it for commercial office space? It would be a shame if the seniors lost their center without a chance to make it viable. Please consider our request. It was signed by Mary Dunn, who's sitting in the next to the back row, Bucks County Labor Council President. I'd like to introduce these people too that are here with me and tell who they represent. I myself represent the National Association of Letter Carriers, and we have Tom Tosti here. He's on the end. Represents ASME, American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. We have Mary Dunn, who's our president of our group, and she's from UFCW, United Food and Commercial Workers. Ed Needham and Jim Halver, they're both building trades. We have Mike Russo in the back row. He's from Steel Workers, and John Greer of the Transit Workers Union. I know when I attended last week, I heard that the council was totally behind the senior center. So some of the things we said there really weren't necessary, but I just want to say that we support it, and we're willing to volunteer and help out with whatever comes with this to keep it going and keep it here in Bristol. I'd like to give you a copy of this, if I may. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else on this side of the room who would like to speak on anything? Anybody on this side of the room would like to speak on anything? That ends public participation. Item number 2 on the agenda.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of May 9th and June 6th, to accept the treasurer's report for April, to accept the police and DJ's report for May, to accept the fire chief's report for May, to accept the borough inspector's report for May, and to accept the planning commission report from May 16th, to accept the HARB report from May 23rd, and to accept the zoning hearing board report from May.
Second by Ms. Rodriguez. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Before we do number 3, I'm going to have to hand the gavel back to the vice president at this time, since it pertains to my development. Do you want to switch seats, or?
No.
I get a motion?
Okay, I'm looking for motion number 3.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the preliminary and final subdivision and land development for the D. Giuseppe Taft Street subdivision, tax parcel number 4-27-48-1.
You need to read the whole, look.
Mr. Dillon can read it.
Let Mr. Dillon read it. 'cause I
Okay,
don't have
Mr.
the
Dillon,
rest
to
of it.
read the whole. You need a second before he reads it?
Motion would be to grant the preliminary land development plan of subdivision land development for the D. Giuseppe Taft Street subdivision for tax map parcel 4-27-48-4. according to the plan prepared by William J. Major Associates, project number 8189-1, dated January 14, 2011, last revised June 3rd, consisting of sheets 1 to 6 of 6, subject to the following conditions. There's 12 conditions. First one is compliance with the findings set forth in the zoning hearing board decision dated March 2nd, 2011. Number 2, compliance with the items set forth in the review letter of Borough Engineer Gilmore and Associates dated May 9th, 2011, and draft letter dated June 13th, 2011. 3, compliance with the items set forth in the Bucks County Planning Commission report dated May 5th, 2011, except item number 1, street width, which item the borough finds unnecessary as the street width is an existing condition and grants a waiver from section 22507 to the extent that section requires a street width greater than that shown on the plan. 4, the funding and execution of development and financial security agreements in accordance with section 22602 in a form satisfactory to the acting borough solicitor and borough manager to guarantee the cost of the public improvements and associated fees in accordance with this section. 5, pursuant to section 26-231, the applicant must obtain the required erosion and sedimentation control permit from the Bucks County Conservation District. 6, subject to the obligation of the applicant to secure any and all permits required from any agencies having jurisdiction over this project, including the borough, Bucks County, the state and federal governments, including but not limited to the Bucks County Conservation District and the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. 7, the borough agrees to sign paper copies of the approved revised final plan, provided they bear the legend "not to be recorded." If signed paper copies are required to be submitted to the various local, state, and federal agencies. 8, the property shall be served by public water and public sewer, and applicant shall secure a will serve or appropriate agreement from the appropriate water and sewer agencies confirming availability of public water and public sewer to the project pursuant to section 22-703-X4. Certifications shall be obtained from the Bristol Authority and from Aqua PA confirming there is adequate capacity to serve the proposed lots. 9, applicant shall pay all review and professional fees in connection with all prior reviews, and the reviews in connection with this approval as required by borough ordinances, rules, and regulations. 10, applicant shall pay all water and sewer connection fees as required. 11, applicant shall pay the borough recreation fee and traffic impact fee as required by borough ordinance. And 12, applicant shall comply with all other applicable borough, county, state, and federal laws, ordinances, rules, and regulations pertaining to the project.
Do we have a second? Questions and comments?
Comment.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Mr. Dillon, thank you for doing that. You could do that at any time for me.
Mr. Alderman, our special counsel has his hand up. I don't know if you saw it.
So I just want to confirm the text box -27-48-1.
Yes.
Submit for us, we can do that. And according to hear from the applicant or his engineer that they've heard the conditions and agreed to the conditions.
Good evening, Jeff Skinner from William G. Major Associates, and I've read the conditions as stated and agree with the conditions for preliminary and final approval.
is that it?
Question, Madam Chairman? I attended both the zoning hearing and the planning commission meetings, and at that time, residents in that Taft Street area expressed their concern about the project. And I think everybody, the general consensus is that new homes in that area would be an improvement to the parking lot that they have. However, they have two general concerns. One is the Bucks County Planning Commission's recommendation to widen the street and to have access or means to turn around at the end of the street. And second of all, the concern is that once this is finalized, that the firehouse won't have room for parking. And they may not need the parking at the present time because of the use. However, they're limiting their use for that property in the future. The residents, and I concur with their feelings that 3 houses would be fine. 4 houses is too congestive, and that it would add to some of the problems with parking and traffic. So, as the plan, as I understand it, has 4 homes.
Yes,
As presented.
correct. If I may respond,
Because if not, I will.
we have proposed 4 homes, as shown on the plans, with driveways that are capable of supporting 5 cars parking on the property behind the right-of-way, which is 3 more than what's required by ordinance. So we feel that the street is still going to be able to serve these additional homes as it serves the homes on the other side of the street without any improvements, and will function as it does today. There is no need for improvements of that. Secondly, the parking for the fire station, as Councilman Lutz has stated, meets their needs for the existing use. And as such, any new use that comes on would have to go before the zoning hearing board should it require more parking. The subdivision that created this property that we are now subdividing further today was done approximately 2 years ago, and was reviewed by the zoning hearing board and the planning commission and council and approved, which separated the fire station from this property. And that parking was then, at that time, shown that it met the needs for the use of the fire station that it still exists today. So here again, if that use changes, the fire station or new user will have to come back before and demonstrate that they can meet those, the parking meets their needs.
I just want to add one thing to this. I've been listening, having all these meetings. The statement you made that there should be 3 homes, not 4 homes. It's subdivided for 4 homes with no waivers needed. So I'm not here saying I have a 4-lot subdivision, I want to put 5 homes in, and trying to squeeze an additional home in. It's 50-foot by 110-foot lots. They're bigger than almost every lot that's throughout Harriman and throughout town. Why would a builder take a 4-lot subdivision and build 3 homes instead of the 4 that's required to put on it? There's no more impact. Whoever visits that street or whoever goes to them homes are going to live there. It's a dead-end road. You're going to pull in your driveway. Any company you get, I made it big enough to pull more cars in. The street is as wide as any street in Harriman. Anybody tomorrow wants to go measure any street in Harriman, they're 24 feet wide. That street is 24 feet wide. But I don't want to give the impression here this evening that I have a lot that's capable of building 3 homes and I'm asking this council to build 4 homes. I have a lot that's capable of putting 4 homes on without asking for waivers. Why would I put 3 homes on a 4-lot subdivision? So let's get that clear tonight.
Are there any other comments? Second by Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
I need to abstain from voting.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, well, Maria will make a note of that.
Say that again?
You want to serve you with what? Salaries? Planning commission.
Okay. Jim, thank you.
Thank you. That's fine. noted that I abstained from voting on that project. Okay. Number 4 on the agenda.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to grant the preliminary final plans of subdivision and land development for the Walmart Supercenter expansion for tax parcel number 04003-001 and 04003-002, 0404001-003, 04004-001-002, according to the plan prepared by Bowler Engineering, project number P080276, dated October the 8th, 2010, and last revised January 21st, 2011, consisting of sheets 1 to 54 of 54, subject to the following conditions. 1, compliance with the items set forth in review letter of Borough Engineer Gilmore and Associates Incorporated, dated March 14th, 2011, and the items set forth in the review letter of the Bucks County Planning Commission, dated November the 12th, 2010, except for the waivers requested by the applicant and granted below. 2, the applicant has been granted various waivers as requested in the applicant's engineer's review letter of May 12, 2011, revised May 13, 2011, subject to the execution by applicant of the appropriate fee in lieu agreement for the waivers listed in the applicant's letter of May 12, 2011, revised May 13, 2011, at Section B, 2A, and 2B, and Section D, 3, 4, 5, and 8, relating to sidewalks and stormwater management. Said agreement to provide for the timely payment of a fee in lieu to the borough's capital improvement fund in the total amount of $275,000, with $125,000 payable to the applicant upon the execution of the developer's agreement, and the balance of $150,000 payable by the applicant when the certificate of occupancy is issued by the borough. 3, funding and execution of the development and financial security agreements in a form satisfactory to the borough solicitor and the borough manager. 4, execution of the appropriate operations and maintenance agreement for the stormwater management facilities satisfactory to the borough solicitor and the borough manager and the borough engineer. Addressing these comments outlined in the borough engineer's letter of March 14, 2011. 5, the plan shall also be revised to add a note regarding restrictions against further subdivision as outlined in the applicant's attorney letter of June 7, 2007. 6, compliance with the Bristol Borough Fire Marshal's request as outlined in his email of November 16, 2010, regarding the looping of the existing water line. 7, subject to the application of the applicant to secure any and all permits required from any agencies having jurisdiction over this project, including the Borough of Bucks County, the state and federal governments, including but not limited to the Bucks County Conservation District and Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. 8, the property shall be served by public water and sewer. An applicant should secure a will serve or appropriate agreement from the appropriate water and sewer agencies confirming availability of public water and public sewer to the project. 9, applicant shall pay all review and professional fees in connection with all prior reviews and the reviews in connection with this approval as required by the borough ordinances, rules, and regulations. 10, applicant shall pay all water and sewer connection fees as required. 11, applicant shall pay any borough recreation fee as required by borough ordinance. And 12, applicant shall comply with all other applicable borough, county, state, and federal laws, ordinances, rules, and regulations pertaining to the project.
Second by Ms. Rodriguez. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 5.
Motion to grant the preliminary and final plan of land development for the Grundy Powerhouse for tax parcels number 413-167, 413-168-1, 413-171. According to the plan prepared by Gilmore and Associates, project number 2006-07049, dated September 15, 2006, and last revised April 15, 2011, consisting of sheets 1 to 7 of 7, and settlement of the mandamus lawsuit, subject to the following conditions. 1, approval by the Court of Common Pleas of Bucks County of the stipulations of settlement at Court of Common Pleas number 2010-04344, compliance with items set forth in the review letter of the Borough Engineer Charles Shoemaker Incorporated dated April 8, 2011, and then sets forth in most recent review letter of Bucks County Planning Commission. Funding and execution of development mental agreement and improvement escrow agreement in the form set forth in the stipulation of settlement Exhibit A and Exhibit B respectively. 4, the plan shall be revised to add necessary notes to reflect an existing parking easement and access easement relating to the adjacent property at tax parcel 413-171. 5, subject to the obligation of the applicant to secure any and all permits required from any agency having jurisdiction over the project, including the borough, Bucks County, the state, and federal governments, including but not limited to the Bucks County Conservation District and the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. 6, the property shall be served by public water and public sewer. The applicant shall secure a will serve or appropriate agreement from the appropriate water and sewer agencies confirming availability of the public water and public sewer to the project. 7, applicant shall pay all review and professional fees in connection with all prior reviews and reviews in connection with any approval as required by the borough ordinance, rules, and regulations. 8, applicant shall pay all water and sewer connection fees as required. 9, applicant shall pay any borough impact fees as required by the borough ordinance. And 10, applicant shall comply with all other borough, county, state, federal laws, ordinances, rules, regulations pertaining to the project.
Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Cullen. Any questions or comments? All those.
Proposal, they're going to come back to council and with a plan before they start, right? We're just not going to...
The plan is the plan that we approved, this council approved. The sketch plan and the amount of units was approved. Mr. Salerno went.
Okay, well then...
This is the land development plan and the settlement of the
I'm
lawsuit.
looking, let me just be more specific. On number 4, it says the plan shall be revised to add the necessary notes to reflect existing parking easement and access easement relating to adjacent property.
Right.
So if they're going to revise that plan for parking, don't they have to come back to us?
No, okay, that's not clear. No, they're not revising it. What we discovered is when they changed the plan to put the parking in the back, there's an access easement that the applicant has over the adjacent property's owner to get to the back, and the adjacent owner has a parking easement on a portion of their property. All I'm asking the applicant to do is to note those easements on the plan. Okay.
They're not going to change the parking?
The plan you have, which shows those 11 spots, it was attached to this document, that plan is the plan, except I've asked them to add those notes. They're not changing the plan.
Okay. Go ahead.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 6.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Langen Engineering proposal dated 6/9/11 in the amount of $10,000 for bulkhead connector floating dock schematic design.
Second by Ms. Trinnell. Questions or comments? I just like to update council on this. This is a project we've been working on the Delaware to try to expand behind Lions Park. This bulkhead, what they're doing right now, they're working on 2 phases. One is to connect where if you're behind the bank, the way the bulkhead comes, and then it comes in like a U and goes back out along the underneath the roof. Can't think of it right now. The wharf. Anyway, that bulkhead will connect the wharf to the bank. And what that'll do is create about another 4,500 square feet of space behind the gazebo that's there now. It will be beautiful. And then the second part of this is to put in docks for people to pull up with their boats with a docking system. So these 2 projects, we have some grant money that's been approved to the borough, and we need to spend this money on how it's a matching grant, but we're trying to get Langdon to go now to whatever agencies he needs to confirm that this can be done, and then we can move forward with this. So we told him we would like an answer back to council in the next 60 to 90 days to see if this project could, become a reality, and if it can, it would really be an enhancement down at the river. So something we all would like to see. Any other questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 7.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve expenditure of $1,000 per month for 6 months to the Senior Citizen Center.
Second by Ms. Trinnell. Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 8.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion requesting county commissioners to use their best efforts to keep the Bristol Senior Center open.
Second. Second by Mr. Polensky. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Number 9.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the expenditure of $4,500 for the promotional video of Bristol Borough.
Do I have a second by Ms. Rodriguez? Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 10.
Mr. President, I'd like to authorize the purchase of one additional police surveillance camera, maintenance expenses and warranty costs for police camera system in the amount not to exceed $10,000.
Do I have a second? Second by Mrs. Cullen. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, is that for one camera?
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, one additional camera.
John?
For $10,000 bucks.
Well, there's other items there in the motion. There's maintenance involved in keeping the existing cameras working, as well as warranty costs associated with the entire police camera system.
And we
So it's
and
not
we
to
did skip
exceed
number 10.
$10,000.
You are correct.
We jumped from,
You did skip number 10. How effective have the cameras been that we have now? Pardon me?
Very, very effective.
Do you think they've been helpful in your...
Yes, they have.
Okay.
We're on 11, so everybody
Yes, we're on
knows
11.
somebody skipped 10, but
Skip 10.
any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Can we go back to 10?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion authorizing 5% match of fire prevention and safety grant for carbon monoxide alarms in the amount of $1,375.
Second by Ms. Rodriguez. Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 12.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to table item 12 on the agenda.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mayor, you have anything?
Comments 12. Just want to make a quick comment on the tabling motion number 12. There's just a little bit of miscommunication between the police, the mayor, and the council members, and I just wanted to be sure that we all were on the same page. So, this is something that will most likely take place, but once we all have enough information, then it'll happen.
To adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.